Hi all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment down below. So, on today's video,
Guys, I'm almost 30 and I don't have anything to show for it. I don't have a house, I don't have a car, I don't have a man, I don't have a kid, I don't have $1,000,000. All I have is me.
today we will be looking at what people feel or think about being 30 and above and starting over at 30. And let's see what people think. I am 30 years old. I just got into my 30s few months ago, and I love listening to people who are in their 30s and hearing what they have to say about life at 30 as we proceed to grow and glow. Okay, welcome.
At least you are almost 30. I'm 31. No husband, no kid, no house. Yes, I'm grateful for the job. I managed to buy myself a car, but at this age, it's really scary. Because then, like, age is catching up. I need to have kids, but then with who? Because the guys you meet, yo, guys, I couldn't, I can't get.
Are there people in their 30s who feel like they're starting all over again? I'm 35 and I really feel this way. Number one, I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. Basically, I got sick a few years ago and doctors have not been able to figure out what's been kind of causing these health issues. What that means is basically I haven't had the time, space, or capacity or energy or even money to really date. The second thing that happened is around 9 months ago, I got laid off. So now I am without a job, although thankfully I have part-time contract work. I don't have a girlfriend. And I am in my 30s, and I'm also wondering, like, down the road, like, what skills I've developed professionally do I want to continue in that role? So I really feel, in a weird way, I actually feel more lost in my 30s than in my 20s. In my 20s, I feel like it's a time of experimentation, trying things out, trying to get good at something. But in my 30s, I know there's an unrealistic standard of trying to figure things out and feeling like you should have it figured out by your 30s. But I really feel like I'm starting over. Does anyone relate?
So for me, yes, I'm over the age of 30 and I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't have any properties under my name or stuff. But one thing that I do have under my name, which is sanity, peace, and contentment. I'm no longer that person who likes to compare, and I've learned that life has no timeline. I don't even remember what I was doing in my 20s because I was just busy people pleasing everyone at my expense. Yes, now at the age of 35, I fully understand that my journey is my journey. If I want to acquire those things, I will at my time. I don't have to compare myself with anyone else. And even if I want those things, then it's a different story. But if I don't, then I don't. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Our journeys are not the same. We're not all here to do the same thing. So love, peace, and happiness to you.
So I started over in my 30s twice, and let's talk about it. Before we get into it, I'm eating a poke bowl. I got some lemon honey ginger tea, and I also got a cute little red velvet cupcake. So my name is Jackie, and I am 35. I'm single, and I started over twice in my 30s. Let's get into it. So I got married at 29 in April, turned 30 in November, filed for divorce in January. Yeah, that's a true story. So I started over in that realm. That was really scary. I just could no longer be in that relationship. It was not for me. I fell out of love. I fell in love with someone else, and I take complete and utter responsibility for that. I ended up hurting my ex-husband quite a bit, and his family, and my family as well. I disappointed them quite a bit. But at the time, I was just cast in the Broadway revival of Miss Saigon, and I was going to be on the road for 2 years. And I had already started the tour. I was well on the road, and I just felt like I can no longer be in this marriage. And so I decided to walk away from that marriage. And that starting over period was real hard, but I got through it. Then fast forward, the pandemic happened. Shut down Miss Saigon. I ended up moving to Kansas City temporarily because of my New York apartment was being subletted at the time. So I didn't have any place to go, and my partner at the time was living in Kansas City, and so he was like, let's go and wait there. I ended up selling coffee on the street as a means to make friends and to make some money, and now 3 years later I own Kansas City's first and only Vietnamese coffee shop. So 30, got divorced, boom, boom, boom. Now I'm 35. Now I'm single. Okay? That relationship is no longer. Okay? Now I live alone. Love it. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. I got a dog for the first time. I own a business that I didn't own before, that I have never done before. So I'm like in the very height of this starting over, right? And I feel like it is my responsibility to tell you, if you are on the cusp of trying to leave a relationship or start a new business or starting over, whatever that means to you, you're gonna be okay. Do I have a lot of money in the bank? No. Figuring that out. Can I pay my bills? Yes, my bills are paid. Am I happy? Yes, I am, you guys. I'm actually so much more at peace than I ever have been. I have never felt so much peace in my life, even though I might not know how my business is gonna be next week. I don't know if I'm gonna have kids. I don't know who I'm gonna meet, if I'm even gonna meet anyone. I don't know if I wanna travel for the rest of my life, keep doing coffee. I don't know what my future holds, but I'm actually totally okay with it. You know, like in your 20s, you're so angsty and you're so like, like what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I don't know who I am and like da-da-da. And if you're watching this in your 30s, you already know like, you don't feel that hardcore pressure, but you do feel a little bit like, well, what's going to happen to me? And I'm telling you, especially ladies, when we're like in our mid 30s now, we have a sense of like strength and security that's truly unmatched. It's like unbothered. You know what I mean? And so if you really are contemplating like, I want to just start over, you should do it. Do it. I'm living proof that I'm all right. I'm doing just fine. I'm actually so happy. Look at me eating my poke bowl. It's like 7 o'clock at night. All my responsibilities are done. And like, even if they weren't done, who's gonna tell me? So like, starting over is actually not that scary. This world is already so scary, y'all. You might as well take a leap of faith and do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And it's okay. It's okay. You will at least thank yourself for trying to start over. Like, if it doesn't work, if this new life isn't yours, go back to your old one. You already have this old life. You might as well try this new one. And if you don't like this one, you should go back to this one that you already had. So that's my logic. And yeah, I literally have no idea what I'm doing every single day, but I kind of like that. Like, it feels very free. And I feel like I can actually breathe and take a second to be like, what is it do I value? And what is going to bring me happiness? And now I really have like the wherewithal and like the strength as like a 35-year-old woman to like take decisions and like turn them into action instead of just like dilly-dallying and like being nervous. I'm going to waste my 20s. I'm not going to have any fun and blah, blah, blah. It's quite the opposite. Like, you feel a little bit more grown. And so I'm just a testament that starting over in your 20s twice ain't that bad. I don't know if next week I'm going to be like, this sucks. But at least for right now, how I feel, it's all groovy. So I really hope that this resonates with you. And if you want to hear more about me going from married to not married to acting to entrepreneurship to owning a coffee shop, I got stories for you. And also being Asian in the Midwest. Woo. That's a whole nother story too. But anyway, I hope this reaches the right people. And if this is your sign that you want to start over, do it, bitch. Do it.
30s is not old. However, it is the first time in your life you realize you're gonna be old. You didn't know that in your 20s, and then you hit your 30s, and one day it just hits you that nobody's asked you to help them move in a while. That you're not the go-to IT person in your family anymore because there's a 9-year-old nephew who knows way more than you. You can get hurt doing anything or nothing. Either of those things.
Let me tell you something. Right now, somewhere on this globe, there is somebody who is trying to get away from all those responsibilities that you just said that you don't have. There is somebody who wishes they were 30. There is somebody who wishes they would get out of the relationship that they feel stuck in. They hate their job and they would love to unload the car or the house that they own so that they could go backpacking across the UK or end up in Hawaii. Okay? Because let me just tell you, you can end up in Hawaii single, almost 30, with no car, no house, and no job, and live the same type of life, but better than what you're doing right now. Let me tell you something. Don't you let this world tell you that your phase of life is bad.
Once you hit 30, you don't care about nothing but money, sleep, and peace.
So you're 30 years old and you're starting over, and you don't have a job, and you feel behind. You think, I should have done better in 3 decades than this. Let me tell you what, stop right there. Don't think that way. You are in good company. Guess who didn't get their first job until they were 30-year-old? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, pitting around for 3 decades, making chairs and tables for friends. That's not a job. That's a hobby. And then he wakes up one day, he's 30, he's like, damn, I'm going to get the top job, the biggest job that's ever existed. I'm going to become God. How about that for an audacious 30-year-old? How about that for a late bloomer? You're in good company, babe. Okay? If Jesus Christ can do it, so can you.